York's classic rock, Q1043. Cyndi Lauper is with us.
Yeah,
We're excited.
So early.
A Queens girl from Queens. Now, what subway did you take into the city to hang out when you were a kid?
Oh, when I was a kid, I
Yeah.
took the A train because you could get it at the trestle on 104th and Liberty Avenue. And then it would depend. If you were going to Rockaway, you'd get off at Crosby Boulevard and take. There was another train.
Because I know
went there.
that Queens kids loved coming into Manhattan,
Oh well, of course,
know.
that was the Mecca, wasn't it?
hopping on the train and seeing a lot of great music too.
Oh my God, yeah.
You know, there were so many clubs.
Well, the Fillmore was alive then.
Yeah.
What was your first concert that you saw?
Well, other than Soupy Sales, that was, dreadful for me because I was too young to go with my sister and her friend to the Beatles, which were at Shea. You could sit there, and in between his set, you'd hear them screaming. Used to kill me.
Wow.
Yeah, and I was sitting, and it was very nice. My mom's friend Dottie took us. It was good. It was good. I mean, But then I saw Janis Joplin. That was my first concert.
Oh, wow.
That's a hell of a first concert.
At the Fillmore, yeah. And then after that, who knew I would have to, I was in a cover band. I sang all her songs in the beginning, First I thought I was be a background singer. But anyway.
And the rest is history.
Yeah.
And the rest is history. So what do? You sell, what?
Whatever.
50 million albums or something like that?
Oh, I don't know.
It was somewhere around that number.
I read the Wikipedia. I'm always like, what the heck? Where is it? It's not true, Wikipedia.
It's
a lot of
often not
stuff is
true.
a lot of
Yeah.
stuff on
I know,
Wikipedia
it's
is totally
unbelievable fake. Because I was even looking at it. I called my lawyer. I said, hey, look, it says I'm worth this. Where is it?
Oh, when you look up those websites where find out what your worth is.
Oh, the
your net
funniest
worth.
one for Jim, because he has the same name as Jim Kerr from Simple Minds. So you Google Jim, and it says, how much are you worth, Jim?
Oh, well, the other guy with the same name as me, he's worth like $60 million or something.
But people
like that.
think it's him. My
yeah,
daughter
but,
thought it was
that's
him.
baloney.
I
too.
know, it's all baloney.
Anyway, I came here today because I'm working with this company, Novartis, because I was sick for a while with psoriasis, really bad. And there's a new campaign that they're doing that I got excited about because it's soatwork.com, but the so is PSO for psoriasis because I was working with it.
Mm-hmm.
And people work in an office. It was hard enough for me to hide everything and shed all over. It's kind of a really gross disease. I'm one of 8 million people in this country that have it. And now it's under control, thank goodness. But for people who are dealing with it and living with psoriasis, it's very hard to hide everything at work. It's hard. You're uncomfortable. It's painful because your skin... I'm not a doctor, but for me, your skin, it's almost like it works too much and it sheds like this, and you got sores and you're not supposed to scratch, and when you go to sleep, unfortunately, you scratch. So it's really awful. It's an awful thing to live with, and they have this website, So at Work, where you could share your stories, but you also can read other people's stories. And the thing about this and me doing this is nobody talks about this. So I figured,
You made it okay to talk about, actually.
Well, I don't know if I made it okay. I don't know if people are like, what the heck?
No,
But I feel you have to.
you attracted a lot of attention. I
Yeah.
mean, it was a big surprise. You don't often see a well-known, highly regarded, world-famous artist like yourself being so outspoken about a health or medical issue that they themselves have suffered from. It's an unusual situation, and it really did attract a lot of attention.
And awareness.
When I first had it and I met the people from Novartis, it was because I was making jokes about myself, about what it's like, and I actually had two different kinds of psoriasis, I think, going on. I had the plaques and I had the gutane, and I made jokes. Like I looked like a connected dot game or something. And then they contacted my management, and my management was so sick of me being sick and pulling myself together and working anyway, you know, that they said, oh, you should work with them. And then I was so uncomfortable, and I met other people who had the same thing. Not like a little rash on your feet.
Right.
But, the rash on your feet doesn't stay just a little rash on your feet. You think it's gonna. Like mine was on my head. I had the plaques. And I'm thinking, my kid plays hockey. Maybe he's got bugs. Maybe this is bugs. So I go to the doctor, and it's not bugs. Oh, that's good. It's just this psoriasis thing. Here's some shampoo. And before you know it, it spreads. And it's an inflammatory thing. And if you don't take care of it, it leads to other inflammatory issues. So that's why I'm talking about it, because you can't just say, oh, I get a little cream, which is another joke. Sometimes I would go to the doctor and they'd give me a tiny little tube and go, here, use this. And, I was covered from head to toe, full. And I'd take this little cream and I'd be laughing, because it was ridiculous. And anyway, I finally, through working with this company, Novartis, I met some really wonderful doctors who said to me, Sin, it's 2000, at that time it was 2015. They said, you don't have to be like this. There are other things. There's a lot of solutions. You just have to find a doctor who really treats psoriasis, not just cosmetic stuff. And talk to them and ask them, what are my options? There's so many options. Pick the one that's right for you. And when you go to a doctor, make sure you make a lot of questions, because usually when you're there, you forget everything and walk out and go, what just happened? I don't know. And anyway, there's another, if you don't have success with soatwork.com, you can hashtag soatwork.
Okay, and that's so with a P.
Yes.
Okay, it is PSO.com.
That's right.
Okay, 13 after 8. Cyndi Lauper's with us. We'll be right back here at Q104.3. Cyndi Lauper with us here at Q104.3.
Hello.
Musical theater has been very good to you. You've been very good to musical theater.
I don't know, but yeah, I was lucky. I had a great team.
I mean, but not just Kinky Boots. I mean, SpongeBob SquarePants.
That was because because I watched SpongeBob, and even in Germany when I'd be touring, I would watch SpongeBob, which is funny in German. It's almost like watching Star Trek in Italian. Mm-hmm. Immorta Jim. But it's
and now you're working on another
Working Girl
musical project.
Yes,
Working
I'm
Girl.
working on the musical adaptation of Working Girl with Bridget Carpenter and Chris Ashley, and Aged Wood Productions, Robin Goodman. So I'm pretty excited. I think it's good. They were further along when I joined the Kinky Boots team, so this is kind of, I keep starting at the beginning, but this is a good team, and I'm excited about it. I think it's gonna be great.
And you have a show on Netflix coming up?
Yes, in fact, Carol Leifa is the showrunner. She's writing along with Stephen. I forgot his last name, but he wrote on The Mad About You.
And she wrote for
show.
Seinfeld, right?
She wrote for, she's Curb Your Enthusiasm, Seinfeld. And it's pretty funny. It's kind of, I wanted to do a couple of things, and then finally, I'm watching Golden Girls, and I'm saying, where's the Golden Girls of today? I was like, well, let's reboot that. And everybody's like, that's a good idea. I was like, okay, we're good. And then, Carol came in and it kind of shifted. It's not exactly that, but I'm kind of like a feckless Sophia. I'm a jailbird, but you know,
And when are we
stuff
going to see it?
happens. Probably we shoot in the spring, probably, and then I don't know. It's on Netflix, though, and I'm excited to be there. And
then you have your 9th annual Home for the Holidays benefit concert, and the money that you raise.
I think it's 10. Is it 9? I don't know. It seems like
10th, 9th, whatever. You've raised a lot of money.
we're trying. It's for True Colors.
Right.
True Colors United. And 100% of the proceeds go to work to develop solutions for the youth that are experiencing homeless that are LGBTQ young people. And that includes, you know, like from the ages of 12 to 24.
Mm-hmm.
And the disparity is, and why I was so vocal was because if you have a population of 4.2 million youth on the street, up to 40% of those kids, they don't like being called kids, but since it's just you and me, I can say this, they are LGBTQ and they're only on the street because of that. So that's a fixable thing through advocate work and education and doing preventative work, which we've
you've
been
doing
involved with
for so long. And so for more info and to donate, you can go to truecolorsunited.org.
Yes, and let me tell you it's in L.A., though. We thought it would be nice to do Christmas. Well, it's not Christmas, it's holidays in L.A. It's called Home for the Holidays because everybody should have a home for the holidays. We got Brenda Carlisle, Billy Porter, Brandy Carlisle, Carol Leaf, Charlie Musselwhite, Emily Estefan, Gina Yashere, Henry Rollins, Justin Trianta, Kay Flay, Kesha, King Princess, Lily Tomlin, Margaret Cho, Perry and Eddie Lau Farrell, and Sean Wasabi, and of course our brilliant host, Carson Kressley.
And that'll be on December 10th in Los Angeles. And
At
2019,
the Novo, you coming?
And,
Yeah, no, I know.
And 2019 was a really good year for you. Doctor of Humane Letters, Northern Vermont University.
Oh, I'm a doctor. That's right.
Right.
I forgot.
And She's So Unusual, added to the Library of Congress's
Yes.
National Recording Registry.
Yes. Did you
That's
ever?
a big deal.
I know.
And of course, Cyndi's a member of the Songwriters Hall of Fame, which I always thought was the most prestigious one in the music business, the Songwriters Hall of Fame,
Well,
because it all starts with a song.
Well, that's true. I think, though, for me, it was, I spent most of my life talking to executives that, what was it in the beginning when I was in Blue Angel? They wanted to make me into the next Barbra Streisand, and I told the head guy, well, don't you want to find somebody else for that? And, of course, everybody choked, and, I spent my whole life telling them I didn't want to be somebody else. I just wanted to be myself. So now I can kind of be myself in peace. Songwriters Hall of Fame, that's funny because I had to fight to write time after time because they just had all these songs and I became good at arranging. And then I finally got to write and they were like, oh, this is the song. I'm like, well, why didn't you let me write a few others, So it was just an interesting ride, my career. It's up and down and sideways, and it doesn't matter because I think if you're an artist, you just keep going.
And we're happy that you do.
Yes,
Cyndi
we
Lauper,
are.
thank you for spending
Thank
time with
you.
us this morning here at Q104.3.
New York's classic rock, Q1043.